Everything was special about being in Star Wars. I mean, like, I can't think of a moment on that set that wasn't a special experience. Even the times where it was difficult. You know what I mean? Like, obviously wearing a stormtrooper costume, as some of you will know, is not the easiest thing in the world. Movement, you know, just not even in movement, even just standing still in that, you know, and having the balaclava on, like, forget the helmet, just the balaclava and the rubber. And just standing still alone is a chore, because you're going to get hot at some point, you know, you're going to want to go to the toilet at some point, you know, you're going to want to scratch somewhere at some point, you know, so that, yeah, it was even just that alone. And then obviously having to run around, and then having to, you know, not be able to go to the toilet, not necessarily eat when you want to, because that's going to lead you wanting to go to the toilet. And you know, just being around that general, the heat of it all, and the restrictiveness. Is that a word, restrictiveness? You're a teacher.
Yes, I'm not for English.
Okay. You know, being restricted, and even with all of that, there wasn't a moment that wasn't like fantastic. Because I grew up with Star Wars. You know, as many of you, as all of you, and you know, there was nothing that could have happened that would have made it not a fantastic experience for me, you know. It's just the best thing, you know. It's just one of those childhood things you think's never going to happen, and then it does, and it's great. I can only say amazing and fantastic and awesome, as I always say about the experience, but there's no words that will ever do it justice, you know. Yeah, it was just great. I mean, it's a great experience.
Yeah.
Can you tell us something about J.J. Abrams on set?
I can.
With you?
Huh?
Are you allowed by Disney?
Of course, yeah. I mean, he's just a great director, and he was great to work with. He was very nice to us. One thing I've said it before as well. One thing I'll say about JJ, he is very good at making you feel important. I've done a lot of film, both as an actor, both as an extra as well. So I've been at both ends, being on a independent feature film where you're the main person. A film that's probably no one will ever see, but you're the main person, so you're treated very importantly, and you know, you're well looked after, pretty much like how Mark Hamill would be treated, or you know, any of the other cast, you know, Harrison Ford, anyone. But obviously on a smaller scale. And then, whereas you're, for example, an extra on Star Wars would be treated a lot differently than Harrison Ford or Carrie Fisher. So, thing about JJ, he is very good at not making you feel less. He has a very good way of making you feel just as important as the main cast, the big actors, you know. And that's one thing I noticed about him that I can definitely comment on. He is very good at that, because I've been on a lot of films where, you know, being an extra, you're just treated as the last for everything, you know. When you eat, you know, how you eat, where you eat, you know, how you're spoken to. So I've seen all of that, and so with various directors, male and female, you know, right across the board, from all different scales, from films as, you know, big feature films to lower independent, low budget films. And JJ has a very good way of not making you feel like, you know, you're just nobody, you're not really important, you know. He's very good at speaking to you in a way that makes you feel special and treasured as well, as an important part to the production. And that's a great quality that I found with JJ.
So would you like to be in episode 9?
No.
No?
Not as a stormtrooper.
No,
Okay.
Not as a stormtrooper. I know the expected thing would be to say yes, I'd want to be in it, but not so much. I guess if I hadn't done it already, then I would say, yeah, I'll jump at it. But there's other things I want to do. And Star Wars is amazing, and it's everything, but it's also very consuming in terms of how it's just so big. Like, for example, I could play a stormtrooper in one scene, and then I get invited to conventions, you know, in other parts of the world and stuff. And I could probably do that for the rest of my life if I wanted to. But it's not all I want to do. I've met people who are in like the first films who are happy doing that. You know, they're still signing autographs like now, and they probably will continue to do that, and that's fine. But I want to do more stuff. And I know that if I was to do that, it's all I would be kind of known for. You know, it'd be pretty high up there, and so that's why I wouldn't. Which may be slightly contradictory to what I said before about, you know, but that's again, as I said, I wouldn't do it as a stormtrooper. Yeah. But if I was doing it as a bigger role, yeah.
What's your favorite film genre to play in?
I like dialogue. I like the English language a lot. Language in general, it doesn't have to be English, but you know. I like films with a lot of dialogue. I like courtroom dramas, you know, the kind of stuff where they're like battling it out with the, you know, the defendant and the prosecutor, and they're going at the witness and trying to get the information. I love that. I love how that stuff's played out. I love films about like drama and true stories. So I love true stories a lot. Yeah, I don't know if I have a genre as such. I just like stuff with strong performances, with heavy dialogue and emotion, and you know, whatever genre, whatever box you put that in, I don't know.
Are there any Star Wars characters that you don't like or hate? Like maybe hates, for example, Jar Jar Binks, or I don't know.
I don't. There's none that I don't hate any character, dislike it or disapprove or no, not yet.
Not so critical.
I need to rewatch all of the prequels as a fully grown adult to appreciate them again, and maybe then. But I don't think so. I think I'm quite easily pleased. I know you have like hardcore fans who they dislike this or they dislike that, and that's fair. That's everybody's, you know, prerogative. But I'm quite easily pleased. I hardly watch a film and find disappointment. Mostly I'll be disappointed with it that it ended too soon. Like I want more, you know, keep going. But that's it. I mean, I'm quite easily pleased in that way. Maybe that's good or bad, I don't know. But I'm always watching from the child within me, because that's how it started for me.
Yeah.
So I don't imagine myself as that child having so much of an opinion about the movie and where direction it should have gone, what plot holes it's got in there in the story. I don't think as a child you're watching with that mindset, and I always approach it that way, and that's for that reason I'm not easily disappointed by what I see, because a lot of people have put a lot of effort into bringing that thing to the screen, and I come into it with that childhood fascination of wow, and I've never lost that. I've never become so like mature about it in my opinions about how it should be done and what should be this way and what should be that way, which is fine for people who do that. I just haven't got there yet. I'm still growing up, you know, in this fascinated place, you know, like when we first watched the original ones when we were kids. I'm still there. That's how I entered 7, because that's where I came from. You know, so I'm not easily. I don't see anything going wrong. You know what I mean?
Yes.